makes fun of my spelling mistakes, and that's really funny. And that's I wouldn't bother doing that. It would just be I was making spelling mistakes. So. Do I miss editing though? Do I actually miss it? Fuck no. Editing sucks. I'm a lazy editor anyway. A lot of the stuff I even do in that thing on Play to the Plot, I just phoned in. You know, sure I'll take the time and Photoshop a bunch of pictures onto her head, but I like if I look at somebody uh, like JonTron or someone. Now he takes like way long on a video, and there's a lot of people that work on it, I think. But either way, like they outclass me in all of their editing abilities and timings. That I always feel that like you should play to your strengths in life. Like if you know you're good at something, that's what you should do. I'm very good at, I guess you would call it, improv. I like to think I'm good at game design, but I really haven't made any games, so it's one of those. Until I've really made something my own, that I can be like, all right, everything here is a lot of my ideas and philosophies, and it's not just a mod of something. Then I can say that. But you really play to your strengths, and I know that editing is not one of my strengths. I don't really do it well, so. Dear Rob, I've enjoyed you playing Lords of TTT. Which game is your favorite that you play in the Buffalo Wizards? TTT by far. TTT is basically every single person in the Buffalo Wizards, except for Roman. Roman does not like TTT. I don't know why. I think he told me. I think he does like it. He just doesn't know he likes it. But everyone unanimously agrees that TTT we could just do it more if we wanted to. We don't really do it more because we already do it for an every other day series. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did it more in the future. That if we actually made it a daily series. Because Ko and Paz both do it with their Minecraft group. It's one of those like we decided not really to do more. Neither of them would care. They fucking love it. They would do it and not even post it on YouTube. But it's one of those. I don't necessarily think it's good for either of their channels to flood it. So they're getting like putting out 2 episodes of TTD every day. So it's just one of those. We just do. We're already doing it as much as we really can for YouTube. But no, we all love that game to death. The other concern is if we could overplay it and we played it way too much all at once, it might lose some of the novelty. I doubt it because honestly, a lot of the fun of the TBT has nothing to do with the game itself. I've always said that any game that you don't have to rely on the game to be entertaining makes it for better YouTube production. Like, funny enough, in Lords of Minecraft, like for the Buffalo Wizards, most of the Buffalo Wizards have no idea how to play Minecraft. Like I always see like people commenting on how adorable Spit is because he don't know shit, man. Like you ask this guy how to make a crafting table, he's gonna be like, "What would I use a crafting table for? I just hit this key and I can have access to all the items in the game. Why? What can you could craft other items I don't know about? No, Spit. That's how you normally get crafting items. But how do I know that? Spit bought one of those Minecraft books, those fucking official books for having the recipes. Now, mind you, those official books look really cool. Okay, they look really cool, and they're like this classy book. It actually made me think that making a game that required a book is kind of a cool idea. Like if you made a game and it was like a Myst style game, and you just give every like you make it so you only sell it hard copies. Already terrible idea, right? Already this isn't going to work in today's day and age. But you make it so everything comes with like this giant like wizard book, and you make it a cool fucking book. Like the book's so cool that you don't even give a shit there's a game. You got this wizard book, and it's got all these ways of casting spells and stuff, and you go and you play a very open-ended game, going through the book and being like, spell of transportation? I gotta get some of this. Like that, I think that's a cool experience. And Minecraft now kind of almost has that. Like if you were going to introduce Minecraft to someone who's never played it before, I would buy him that fucking book. I would buy him that book and give him that book and Minecraft and disconnect the internet. Tell him to go nuts. They would probably have an amazing experience. So. Also on the Lord server, I'm trapped somewhere and I cannot do anything. You can, if you're so, you can type /stuck. I don't know if he's here. I'm gonna make sure I respond to this email. Type /stuck. He doesn't know about /stuck. That's where I need to have more tutorials and information about the server. Alright. Merry Christmas, Willie. Dear Willie, I've been watching you for a year now, and I like your videos, and they have helped me through some hard times. Earlier this year, my grandmother passed away, and your videos really helped me get through it slowly. My question is, did you have a good Nismas this year? Yeah. I had my family over just the other night for Christmas. We played Smash Brothers. We played 8-person Smash. Smash is probably one of the better party games Nintendo's ever put out. As long as you don't have dicks. like in my family, there are only 2 people who can play Smash Brothers that act like at an, even basic level, right? Like that actually understand all the button combos and will know like at least most of the roster from Brawl and stuff, right? And that's just me and my brother Danny, with my brother Tommy coming up third. Everyone else in my family, for the most part, is very new to the game. And so like we're just like, all right, the easiest way to play is you use this stick to move and this other stick does your smash buttons. We don't even bother telling them B moves or rolls and stuff. And then me and my brother just specifically do nothing but fight each other, and everybody else is just doing stuff on the map. We don't really pick on them or anything. But then you can add handicaps. You can do like, all items, just do lots of stars. We started doing team matches. The 3 brothers versus all the girls basically. So it was 3v5. And then we were doing stock, but to balance it out, like the funny thing we noticed is, as long as we picked a map that didn't have pitfalls, the girls typically won. Like if it was a map where the only way to die was actually go off the edge, like it's a flatland map, it's not one where you can fall off into the abyss. The girls typically won. Like my mother was playing a bunch of things, but finally I gave my mother Bowser, just like this heavy class thing, and she would truck us. Like she understood how the smash attack worked. And she understood that what she would do is she'd just wait until, we started fighting someone else and walk up to us and just fucking smash us in the face off the side of the board as heavy class Bowser. So I was very impressed with that game because Mario Kart, try playing that with your family? Yeah, you might as well just play with one hand. Like, it'll get to the point where you lap people in a game where it's hard. I honestly think while Mario Kart 8 is my favorite iteration of Mario Kart, they did a terrible job actually making it classic Mario, even in frantic mode. There's not enough handicap for, players who haven't really played the game. And I wish there was some more handicap features in that game. Because in Smash Brothers, you can handicap the shit out of that game. You can make that game so, anyone can beat anyone if you really want. And that's when it gets fun, when anyone can have a chance of winning. My brother's sister, the first time we were doing free-for-all, she won a round. She got, like, hysterically happy and was, like, clapping like a seal. My mother did the exact same thing, too, when she won. So, that's a key of a good party game. And I know Smash has a bunch of competitive stuff, and that's cool and everything too. But for me, it almost always was a party game. Even when I was younger, I had 3 siblings, so it was a game that you wanted to make it so everyone can win, because that makes it the most fun. As much as we like to rip on like Mario Party for like anyone, like it doesn't matter what you do, somebody's gonna steal your stars. That ends up that does make it for that type of casual audience, because then when anyone can win and it's goofy like that, it's a lot more fun for everyone. Oh, I guess I didn't finish my Buffalo Wizards. Alright, sorry. Nisavin. Nisavin created magical spells. I used to use magical spells a lot. When I was streaming DBZ, we used to sell donation slots, and they were crazy. People were buying them every week. Honestly, if I ever really wanted to make money, I should just stream DBZ, because I could sell full games every week. make $1,000 playing DBZ if I really wanted to make money. But there were some weekends where I was making like $500 because we would sell out all these donation slots. It got to the point where I just stopped. I did less and less donation slots because it was just like, holy crap, people, like I could sell an entire game of donations. Because people would actually just pay $5 to play for a night, to play on stream. And when that was happening, I started donating money to Nisvan's plugin because the game was basically mostly his plugin. And I noticed that when I started giving Nisvan more and more money, he became more and more inclined to do features in DBZ. Eventually we started talking and then started actually just working on the game together. So I've known Roman since forever. Me and Roman both used to play Dark Age of Camelot. We used to both play it at like the highest level, whatever you want to call it, where the game became 8 versus 8 PvP deathmatches. Dark Age of Camelot was a very different game. It had a lot of I'd call it, what would I call it? Pride? You know how like Horde Alliance players had pride? Like they'd be like, "Ah, for the Horde." In World of Warcraft, God, it feels forced. In Dark Age of Camelot, but that's probably just because it was not my first game. But for Dark Age of Camelot, it really felt a little bit more pridey. Maybe it's because it took back then, 20 plus real life hours, or no, 20 plus hours, 20 plus real life days. Sorry, to level a character to full. Maybe it was just because of the nature of the game. You could steal an item that just makes you more powerful than the entire realm. Like imagine if there was an item the Horde and Alliance fought over, and the Alliance have that item? Oh yeah, they now have 20% more DPS everywhere. In PvE, in PvP, leveling, everywhere. That is a pretty dramatic effect to be able to capture an item and stuff like that. But we were on enemy sides, and we fought, and we fought, and we fought, and fought. And then one day, because we all used the Ventrilo and things like that, we all got together and talked and stuff, because that's just what you do. You're enemies, but at the same time, there's only so many enemies in that game that are playing at that level. This is still at a time when, there wasn't, like that game probably only had 100,000 player base, and maybe only 1,000 people were playing it at the same level as we were. It was a very small game in that retrospect, so it was a very small community. And I remember the first night we all got together, and we obviously couldn't play with each other because we were from different realms. So we played Ice Sketch, which is like Draw My Life, and we played it, and me and Roman just hit it off. Like our whole group did, but we were good friends. And Roman actually lived in Ontario at the time, and so eventually me and Roman went to go see a movie together just to hang out. And the movie we went to go see Team America, which is probably my favorite cinema experience of my life and will never be surpassed. Team America at that time, like there was nothing like it. Like these days, like a lot of the humor and stuff I've evolved over the years has come from South Park and Matt and Trey. Like it's like I grew up on them, right? So a lot of my jokes and my humor kind of stem from some of the ways they talk. Some of the inflections of my voice can be very South Parky. I've had people say that a lot. But like me and Roman saw fucking Team America together, and that was just it hurt, like that movie, just laughing, because it was one of those things like we're both laughing, but then we're both laughing and like pointing at the screen and just enjoying the entire fucking thing. Like it was fantastic. So Roman is actually probably one of my oldest friends. Actually, we met online, which is cool. I've met a lot of people online. I've gone to friends I've met in games. I've gone to their weddings, and I'll introduce myself as my online name, and they'll be like, "How do you know Christopher?" And I'll be like, "Hey, we killed those Midgardians." They'd be like, "What?" Like, we played video games together. I know him from the video games. From the internet. Christopher didn't tell me he plays on the internet. I'm going to tell him off for that. I met Shay through World of Warcraft. She was another guild on the same server that me and Roman played on when we raided full time. I remember when I went casual, I raided with her guild for a bit just because I wanted to see the content. I didn't like for me raiding World of Warcraft was not about loot. It blows my mind how it was about loot for people, but for me it was always about the fun of actually learning a fight and then beating it. And so there was a point when I was coming back to my raiding guild for the next expansion, and I could have raided with my guild, but I was like, man, that would be really boring because everything's unclear, and I'm not going to know how to fight anything. That sounds boring. This was like Lich King. So I joined a guild to go and learn all the Lich King fights because that's way more enjoyable. And so I played with Shay, and then we did some stuff. We played Minecraft and stuff together, as friends. So Spid was also in me and Roman's World of Warcraft guild. He was a mage just like me. So we were like, I don't know if you guys ever played that game. A lot of classes typically had like class channels, and then you'd be kind of a tight knit community among your class because you would kind of talk to each other and make sure you're all playing properly and giving each other tips for fights and stuff to be better. And so me and Spid knew each other forever. Spid was an easy addition to the Buffalo Wizards because Spid's a soldier. Spid does exactly what I tell him. He does it well. He understands the power of dictatorships. I am a dictator. There you go, chat. Enjoy. And one of the things, like I learned a lot of things playing video games growing up, but one of the things I learned about governments is in small governments. So think of like World of Warcraft guilds, dictatorships where the dictator is actually looking out for everybody else in the community is the best form of government. Like the Buffalo Wizards is at most a dictatorship. And you can go ask any of the guys how they feel like that, and they will all pretty much unanimously say that they like it like that. Because basically, dictatorships work really, really well if the dictator knows everyone in their country and looks out for everyone in their country. Obviously, this doesn't work very well on a global scale when it's actually a country. But when you're talking about like a company or a video game, you can think of them as team captains. You're a hockey team or anything. Democracies are such a pain in the fucking ass. Democracies are all about talking. So what you get is nothing but talking and no action. Nothing ever gets done. So like when you're playing a game like World of Warcraft and you want to do something as a group, if you do a democracy, you will sit around talking about what you should do for an hour. Loot just dropped off the boss. Oh, we're going to have this DKP system and we're going to vote for who gets the item. Fuck that noise. The one guy who's looking out for everyone knows that this guy needs it the most because it'll help the entire raid. So when you have a group of guys or any like small group of people, if you can have a dictator and everyone likes the dictator, everyone thinks and knows the dictator is looking out for their well-being, and the dictator actually is looking out for their well-being, it is by far the most efficient thing you can have. And that's something I learned in World of Warcraft because, man, was I in a lot of guilds. And the best run guilds were the ones where you had a guy who was the leader who looked out for everyone. Everyone liked him. Everyone trusted him. And even if he only did things right 95% of the time, it is way better to just accept that 5% of the time he's going to be doing something that is wrong and you're just going to do it anyway. He's going to tell you to do something and it's going to fail. And why? Because he's going to be right 95% of the time. And it's way more efficient and way more fast and way more better. So... you could use the word leader and dictator, but I mean, the thing is, a leader that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do what they say. Dictator, you kind of do. If you don't, then you're not really. It doesn't really work as well. Then you're going back to democracy. Because the whole thing with like when I used to raid and do any of that stuff was if every time somebody had an opinion and wanted to talk about it and had a suggestion, what they would do is they would tell the guy running the thing, your guild leader or whatever you want to call them, and it wouldn't be something where you would bring it up and it would be a big conversation and we'd have a vote over it. It'd be like you'd bring it up to him and he would decide, no, we're not doing your idea, or okay. He'll listen to you, but you would still do whatever the hell he said. I actually don't like being a leader. I know I'm pretty good at it, but I absolutely love following. Following is way better. I would much rather be, a lieutenant in World of Warcraft. Like I didn't even want to be an officer. Like that was none of that stuff. I would rather just be a soldier who just listens well and does everything, and follows someone than do it myself. Anyway, those are just my opinions. You shouldn't get anything from that other than that's just how I like to do things. By all means, democracy is great. But now chat's got the Rob hates democracy quote. What else do I need? Is there any other things you need, chat? Do you have all your quotes? Are you quoted out yet? That was Spid. Gary was same. He was in a clique with Roman. Gary was a friend of Roman, so by acquaintances we became friends and did stuff together. Steve was the recruit. Steve we recruited off our subreddit this year. I don't know Steve well enough yet. I haven't really gotten to do a lot of stuff with Steve. Roman's done some stuff. Some of the other guys have done stuff with Steve, but I've only really done maybe like 10 videos with Steve so far. But he's a cool cat. He fits in well. And then actually I have Paz on this list of Buffalo Wizards. You guys already know how pretty much I met Paz. He wanted to play Dwarfs for Zombies. We played Dwarfs for Zombies together. But that guy is a Buffalo Wizard. Hey Rob, dear Rob, can I visit you in Canada? No. I do not want people coming to visit me where I live. No. It's not acceptable. I don't know if I will do conventions this year. I'm going to say no. I honestly think conventions for the most part would be a waste of time. Conventions were always good for making contacts, but I don't feel that I need to really make any for this year. I feel like this coming year it's just a work year. It's just a year where I want to sit down and get a lot of stuff done, specifically in game development. So conventions take a lot out of me. I've talked to the Buffalo Wizards, and we might do like a fundraiser to do a meetup, where we all meet up somewhere, and then we might just pick a convention to do it at, maybe like a PAX or something. But we might also just decide that what we want to do the meetup for is to make content, because a lot of these times I get together with all these guys and then we get nothing out of it. Like that's why I did those Vine videos. It's because like, dude, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to get some sort of video content out of it, especially since I have all these people here and you only get to see them like once a year maybe. So we might actually just do something where like I just fly all the Buffalo Wizards somewhere and we go and record videos. Buy a couple GoPros, makes a bunch of videos. Maybe we'll write a bunch of sketches, do a bunch of just funny videos. Because that might just be way more beneficial. I mean, as much as people love conventions and meeting people, and I like it too, you gotta understand that if I go to a convention, I might meet 1,000 people at most. And even a channel of my size, there's probably like 50 to 100,000 people who stop by and check out my videos. So it's always one of those, like, man, it's almost not worth it, because if I had to ask the general audience, like, what would you rather do? Would you rather, have a 1 in 100 chance that I fly somewhere where you live and you might get to talk to me for 30 seconds, or would you rather have the Buffalo Wizards all make like 30 really funny videos? I feel like people would pick the second one, but we might not do that this year. We might honestly just still be too small to do that type of stuff. Might have to wait another year of growing. I don't like plan on expanding the group anymore. The group is absolutely fine. If there's ever a person that makes sense to put in the group, by all means. But in reality, there's no one like that on the radar, and I don't think I need to just keep adding people to the group for some reason. I try not to even overhype adding anyone. I would, it doesn't make sense to me. So. I don't get recognized in public. I'm glad I don't. I don't ever want to get recognized in public. If I get recognized, I would just immediately go into character. That's exactly what happened. When I say go into character, I don't necessarily mean OldManWillaker's. I mean how I talk to the general public compared to how I would talk to like family or friends in a more intimate setting. Um, That's like if the best way to look at it is like you ever gone to like a party with a lot of people you don't know. You know how you act kind of different? That's what I mean. It's just for me, I put that face on the second it's anyone I don't know. Um, and that's the happy-go-lucky, high-energy person you'll see in vines and stuff when I'm at conventions and things. Those things are so tiring, man. People always ask me, like, how do you have so much energy? It's because you just literally just turn it on. You're just like, it's time to go. It's time to be hyper energy for this entire week. And then I just come back from them and it's like, I'm going to sleep forever. I'm going to be the next Rumpelstiltskin. Wake me up in 50 years. Wake me up when my hair is gray and my beard is white. I'll be like Santa Claus, but instead of presents, I'll only have wasted years to give away, 'cause I slept through them. Do you like trains? I don't like driving. If I could take trains everywhere, yeah. All right, dudes. I'm pretty burnt out. Um, you guys have fun today? Did you have fun? It feels like we didn't do anything, but I guess we did quite a lot of things. I know I wanted to do Dungeons and Dragons today, but there's no way I was going to be able to do it and do a little bit of Lords and a little bit of DBZ, and apparently I